I've mentioned till now that you need to be a master of daydreaming to really get to where you want to be. And till now I have explained that consciousness is everything. And what I really mean by that is that it's absolutely everything. Any thought you can possibly have, for example, next to another thought. And if you put those thoughts together, I mean, that's still consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Of course, any physical object, any idea, any creative thing that you have put together in your mind, everything is consciousness. And whatever consciousness you haven't reached or explored yet will be your unconscious. And the experience you have will be your subconscious, which is consciousness, but it is the program that are running. And the way you can recognize what subconscious programming you have is to simply just look around. Recognize how you feel about things. And of course you want it to be a neutral experience around all the things you see or think about. But that might not be the case unless you have really done the work. So when you as a source in this game have the frequency bodies you have, which will be the limitation of what you can possibly experience, then you understand that it's very important to have control over your frequency bodies. If you're going to be emotional about any of these things or thoughts, well, then that is going to be your experience. And of course it could be a good experience, it just might not be as great as what you ultimately would want. And of course your level of consciousness will be the limit of essentially what your subconscious programming could be. So now you understand that you are sourced in this game with a subconscious limitation of how you can possibly experience the game. A subconscious limit of how much connection you can have with yourself. And it is you as a source who should be in control of your subconscious programming, of your level of consciousness, so that you can have the best experience possible. And I mentioned how daydreams pretty much is the essence of how you create subconscious programming. You want to be a master of feeling as if. You want to be a master of gaining consciousness, of exploring consciousness. But essentially you just want to be a master of knowing what you want. So you can use your intent, which is you, to point at that consciousness. And then you feel as if. And of course, if you're very immature, you might give in to any idea surrounding this consciousness. Any idea that this isn't something that you could possibly achieve, or that this is going to be very difficult to achieve. But you need to understand that it's a matrix. You're experiencing a matrix. And if you understand what a matrix is, because it's not just a fancy name we have given to the world, it's a thing, it's a concept. And you will see it in the essence of the game. There is nothing within the matrix that isn't of the matrix. Everything is a matrix. And whatever consciousness, or let's call it thought, that you desire to choose as your subconscious programming will also be a matrix. And that thing will have a thought matrix surrounding it, full of any choice to infinity about how you can perceive that thing, or what that thing is similar to, or what that thing is opposite to. And it's the same thing with the matrix. The matrix is one thing that is all other things, and all of the other things are the same thing as each other, and all of them are the opposite of each other, and all of them are close to each other, and from those points it goes further. You see, essentially it's just a bright light where any part of the light is a thread leading to each other. It's not so easy to wrap your head around unless you kind of see it, but it's a lot easier to see it in a thought. For example, if there is something that you want to experience, then you can easily recognize the thought matrix surrounding it, at least some of it. The idea that this is something that you can experience, this idea that it's going to be difficult, this idea that it's going to be easy, this idea that it's going to take you 1 year to achieve it, anything you can possibly think about will exist in that thought matrix and more. Because it's a matrix, it's infinite, you'll find everything there. So essentially you just want to know what you want. You just want to put your intent on the consciousness, which is a thing that you want, and you want to feel as if. And if you're able to feel as if, that will be your experience. And it goes with anything. Any higher level of consciousness you might want to unlock, any width of consciousness that you want to unlock, any creative idea you want to manifest, you just need to know. I mean, it doesn't even need to be precise. You can know that you want a great idea about anything, what to do today, for example. And then that is what you put your intent towards. And you might have heard the idea that you shouldn't be so sure of what you want, because there could be something better. Or if you intend for happiness, then there is nothing better than happiness. Same with centeredness, joy, contentment, freedom, peace, harmony, neutrality. It just doesn't get better than those things. If you intend for those things, well, then you will resonate with consciousness that is of those things. And what you intended for was something that you will like, something that would benefit you. And that is the consciousness that you, well, actually are aiming at. If you then choose to feel as if, well, then this is where it could get tricky. If you choose to have too much ideas around what would be joyful for you, for example. So hold that a little with an open hand. I mean, how well do you really know yourself? There's so many things out there that could be joyful to you.